On the top of the screen is Tammy, who's the Australia-China Alumni Association media manager and special expert in videos, and also assistant to our literature community. And today, once again, we're going to have this once a month on the second Friday of every month. We have Dr. Graham Ford, who's my Lao Tongxue from Sydney University, but Graham did his PhD at Macquarie and subsequently taught there and other places in Sydney as well. So I think we just go straight into the lesson, Graham, and take it away, please.
All right, that's good. Well, hello everybody, and thank you for taking part in the tutorial. I hope you've been able to read these two texts. As you see, they are plain information texts, which are the easiest to translate, but are interesting because they reveal interesting grammar relationships between Chinese and English. The main thing to remember is that in English, the order of a sentence is subject, verb, object, prepositional phrases, time phrase, and subordinate phrase. I'll explain these as we go along. The other thing we will be watching out for is the register, which can be high or low. So let's move on down then, and we'll have a look to, oh, Yen Yen Wang, I cannot hear anything. I wonder what, Yen Yen maybe hasn't got her microphone on. So this is a text here that I got from the Chairman's Bao site. And as you can see, it's a plain information text. It just gives information. It doesn't seek to entertain. It doesn't seek to amuse. It doesn't seek to persuade. It just gives plain information only. So this is a very interesting kind of text to translate. If you put this text through the Google Translate, you'll find that it comes out pretty fairly exactly. Google Translate can really handle this kind of plain information text. So the thing I'm interested in to sort of draw your attention to is the phrases. So if we have a look at the first little sentence here, and I'm going to try to translate this one myself. So the first thing I'm going to do is look for the subject. So if you look along there, and excuse my Chinese accent because I lived in Australia all my time, but Qinghai Banma Xian de Make Helin Qu的原始森林正被大量破坏. So come on, students, somebody tell me which is the subject of that sentence. Where should we begin? Come on, Francis, you help me out.
Am I right?
Exactly right. Yeah, that's right. So come on, Francis, you stay with me and we'll translate it together. So what should we say for Yuanshi Senlin?
The original forest.
I think so, that's right. So now we want to move back in the what we call the prepositional phrases. You see, so it's going to be Maka Helin Chuda Masianda Qinghai.
Yeah.
Those are the prepositional phrases. In English, they'll have little prepositions in front of them, in, at. So you see how Yuanshi Shenlin is there, and all of the prepositional phrases are in front of the subject. In English, of course, they would be behind. So that's why they're called prepositional, because they're in the position. You see, the prepositional phrases. So come on, Eric, we'll come on, Francis, and we'll work through it. So the original forest. Next one. In the.
Yeah. What do you mean? The original forest.
Yes, in
It's the subject.
The original forest. Yeah. Now translate the rest of it. In the
马克河林区，
Yes,
青
that's right,
海
in the-
斑马线的马克河林区。
Yes, that's right. So come on, translate it into English for us.
The original forest in the 马克河 forest zone.
Forest area, we'll say.
Forest,
yeah.
Forest area.
Yes.
In the Banma County of Qinghai province.
Yes, that's exactly right. That's the way. So you see how interesting it is that in between Chinese and English, the prepositional phrases go in the opposite direction. In English, it says the blah, 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 in the blah, 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 in the blah, 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 in the blah, blah, blah. Chinese says in the blah, 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 in the blah, 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 in the blah, 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 the blah, blah, blah. You see? So this is one of the interesting aspects. It's not the words that go in the opposite direction. It's the phrases. The phrases are organized in the opposite direction. So that was pretty good. So what did you say then, Eric? You said the original forest in the Markehe forest area in Banma County in Qinghai. Now, come on, Francis, you might as well finish the sentence for us now. Is
destroyed heavily.
Oh, yes, that's right. Is Pohai, what should we say?
Destroyed.
Destroyed. No, that would be Xiaomie. This is sort of Pohai. This is more like damaged.
Damage. Okay.
Yes, that's right. Yes.
Yeah, damage.
Yeah, damaged. Now we've got this da here, so we want to try and use an English word that's like da. We say greatly, right? Was greatly damaged. We've got a little zone, yeah. So we've got a little zone here, and we'll use that to indicate the past tense, isn't it? Was. So the original forest in the Markehe forest area in Banma County in Qinghai was greatly damaged.
Yeah.
Comma. That little comma will say and. All right, for the comma, we'll translate that as and.
And a group of youths make it to become the major protection forest area.
Very good, that's right. So we've got here shi, right? Now we say, I think here we're in the past tense. We say, or maybe let's try it in the present tense first. It is a group of young people who have made it. You see, Jolly, we're going to say in English, it, right? Who have made it. Chengwei, we're going to say into. You make something into something. Have made it into an important forest protection, what is it, area. All right, that's pretty good. Let's have somebody else now to help me out. What about you, Eric? Are you ready to have a try?
Yeah, okay.
Oh, that's good. Come on, then let's have a look at it. So let me read it let me practice my Chinese. So it's Karu Tuba, I think, isn't it? 今年30岁，已经在这里工作9年了. All right, we can do that little bit.
Yeah. Karu Tubao is 30 years old now.
Yes, that's right.
And he has been working here for 9 years.
Very good. That's exactly right. Just go back and do that first phrase again about how old he is and say something like Karatubal, aged 30 this year. You see that?
Yeah.
Aged.
Yes.
Yeah, that's right. To make it more English sounding. text, right? So we're going to say Karutuba, age 30 this year. Now say that second part again. You got that quite right.
Yeah, he has been working here for 9 years.
He has been. That's right. Here we've got Jing, and that's always a marker, isn't it, of have, has, what we call in English the perfect tense. Yeah, that's good. Come on, Eric, we're still with you now.
Okay.
Let's go on and do the next little bit.
小心火灾，注意动植物的生长是像它这样火一样的工作。Watching out for bushfire and being cautious of the fauna and what's the word for that?
Flora.
And flora growth is the manager's job. Is the job of managers like him.
Yes, that's right. Very good. Okay, that's great. Good. Okay, do it for us again now so we can follow you carefully.
Okay. Watching out for bushfire and being cautious to flora and fauna's growth.
Go around the other way, go backwards. And I'm not sure, Julie, what is it? Being careful about? Is that what you're saying? Being careful about the growth of...
Okay. Of the flora and the fauna.
Yeah.
Is the job of the managers like him.
Yes, that's right. Now let's find another word for this. Guanhuyuan.
Caretaker.
Caretaker. Yes, that's a good word. Yeah, we've got a few words. In our parks in Australia, we use the word ranger. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Park
Yeah,
ranger.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That could do. Yeah. So see this. What is it? Dongzhiwu. Sorry. Dongzhiwu. This is where we've got the idea of register, you see. Now in English, we've got the Latin term flora and fauna. Now that's what we call the high register term. Now, Eric, what would be the low register term for
plants and animals?
Plants and animals, that's right. So let's use the low register so that, but I'm very glad that you know the high register. So we can do it in the low register, taking care of the plants and animals, or you can do it in the high register, taking care of the flora and fauna. You understand those registers, don't you? Plants and animals. These are the French words in English from, 1066 when William the Conqueror conquered England. Flora and fauna are the Latin words, and they belong in what you might call the academic register. You know what I mean? The scientific register, perhaps is the right way to do it. The work is the work of caretakers like him. All right, that's pretty good. Let's thank you, Eric. We'll get back to you again later. Come on, Fleur, are you ready to have a go?
Yeah.
Come on, then you do the next little bit for us.
There are 233 ranges here, and 30% of them are under 30 years old.
Okay, that's pretty good, but have a look at that second phrase. When, as a translator, we want to stick more closely to the word, to the original text, and you've got to express Jan, Yue Jan.
Proportion.
Something like this.
Stands for.
Come on, Fleur, say again. I think we should start with Qizhong, isn't it? Of them.
Yeah.
Less than of them. This de must mean those, the people, those under 30. All right. Now we go to Jan. Make up. Yeah. About, is that right?
Yeah.
Make up about 30%.
Yeah.
Qijong, of them.
Of
Right.
them.
That's Qijong. That's at the end. So come on, Fleur, you do it like me. So we say, we start with those, isn't it? Those.
Those who are under 30 years old
Yes.
makes up 30%.
Makes up about.
Makes them about makes up about 30%.
Qijong.
Of them.
Of them.
Yeah.
Yes, of them. Yeah, very good. You see how the thing that's at the beginning in the Chinese sentence moves down to the end in the English sentence. This Jan here, a very good way of translating Jan is make up or makes up. You know what I mean? It's a good convenient way. All right, Fleur, come on. You and I stay together and do one more little sentence because that one was very short.
Yeah. So they walk 9 miles of mountain road every day.
Very good.
They work for over 300 days annually.
I say here every year.
Every year, yeah.
Yeah. Here you've got that low register, high register again, you see. Annually is the high register and every year is the low register.
Yeah.
In this case, annually is the French word and every year is the low register, the Anglo-Saxon register, which is the lowest register. The Anglo-Saxon register is a really good register, you know. Try to dip down into the Anglo-Saxon register when you can. It makes it sound good. Makes it sound good. So come on, Fleur, let's just say that again and we can pay attention to what you say.
Should I do it again? Or?
Yes, just say the same thing so we can follow you.
Okay. So they walk for 9 miles of mountain roads every day. And they work for over 300 days every year.
That's right. See this over, change that into more than.
More than
right?
300 days every year.
Yes, more than is a good translating phrase, yes. And they work for more than 300 days. See this Nian? Don't say every year here. Go down another register. What would it be? A year.
A year. Yeah.
A year. That's right. Yeah. Try to stick down in those low registers. So they walk 9 kilometers of mountain roads every day. That's right there. And they work more than 300 days a year. All right. So this is a pretty easy text, isn't it, really? But I think it's interesting because it shows us what we're looking for, which is this, the order of the phrases. Just before we go on, I just want to say to you something about translating. When you translate from Chinese into English or from English into Chinese, the translation that you make is what you would call an artificial text. The original reporting about the forest made by the reporter, that's a real text. You see, he saw the stuff, he wrote it down, you know, and he published it. But what the translator does is take that, you see, and make it into a translated text, which is not the real text. It's a sort of like an artificial version of the real text. So because the translation is artificial, it's good to make it as plain as possible. You know, always try to go for a very plain sort of what you might call 翻译白话, you know, a plain translating language, and that will sound good. All right, well, let me go down to Iris, who's next. Where are you, Iris? You've disappeared on me now.
I'm with you, Graham.
Can't you turn on your camera so we can see your face?
Yeah, no problem.
Oh, there you are. Good. Oh, yeah, that's right. We did some work we worked together last week. Okay,
Yeah.
come on, Iris. It's up to you now. Let me read it first and see if I get it right.
So the sentence you highlighted?
Yes, that's the one. Yeah.
Yeah.
张启成30岁.
Yeah. Zhang Qicheng, 30 years old, is one of the team members
Yes.
of forest survey, planning and design team.
Very good. Okay, you got all of those exactly right. Yeah, that's good. Okay.
Thank you.
Good. Now say it again like this. Zhang Qicheng, is that right?
Yeah.
Aged, we're going to use this word aged again. Aged 30, right?
Age 30, yeah.
Yes, that's right. Now, you see, we've got here 调查规划设计队的一名队员, right? So we've got the 队 twice.
Team member, yeah.
Yes, that's right. We got the 队 twice. Now, you probably understood by now that English doesn't want to repeat that word. You know what I mean? It only wants to use it once for some reason. So
Yeah.
we're going to say something like, is a member of the team, you see? We just use this one to say member, not team member, because we've already got team here. So we're going to say is a member of the forestry, survey, planning and design team. All right, you say it for me like that, right from the beginning. Zhang Qicheng, age 30.
Yeah. Zhang Qicheng, age 30, is a member of forestry survey planning and design team.
Very good. That's the way to do it. Now, listen, you stay with me now, Iris, and we'll do one more sentence together.
Yeah, no problem. So, 他在西南林业大学学的是林学。So when he was in the Southwest Forestry University, he majored in forestry.
Forestry is right, yeah, but I don't think we should just say, I don't think we need to say majored here. It just says 学的. You know,
he studied.
I think we just say he studied. Yes, we don't know what
he studied forestry. Yeah.
Now, that's very good. But I want to try to express this grammar structure. 他在这里学的是林学. How can we express that in English?
He studied forestry in.
No, we have to use, because we've got the de, we have to say what
he studied
in
Southwest Forestry University
was
forestry.
Forestry, yeah, that's right. It sounds a bit funny, but I like to try to preserve the discourse, you know, of the original text as much as possible. So we say it like that. I think it's all right. What he studied in Sinan Forestry University was forestry. Oh, you better do the next bit too, Iris. I can't quite figure this out. It's a bit hard for me.
Yeah. 在这里他正好可以大展拳脚。So 我理解这里 means the
In the forest, yeah.
correct,
In the Linchu, yeah.
the forest farm.
That's it, yeah.
Yeah, so in this forest farm, he can, exactly fulfill his potential.
Oh, that's a good way to put it. Yes, that's good. Fulfill his potential. Okay, I think that's not a bad way of expressing that. Make the most, make the most of his talent or something like that. Say we take those two expressions, you see, fulfill his potential, that's a more high register. Make the most of his talents, that's a more of a low register word. So this 正好, is there some way we can solve that problem?
So exactly.
Yes.
正好. Yeah.
Exactly. Maybe let's try just.
Just. Yeah, just.
Yeah.
That's a good one. Yeah.
It could be, couldn't it? He's just able to. Yeah. Oh, I wish I knew how to. Anybody else got a? What about you, Eric? Have you got a good idea how to solve that problem?
正好, right?
It's just the right place for him to something, make the most of his talents. I don't know, still not satisfied. But anyway, thank you, Iris, and that's really great. Let's move on,
Graham.
see if we can find one of the other students now. I'm just going to go down here on my. What about Sunja? Is Sunja here? Sunja there? Can't hear. How about Michelle? Is Michelle there? No answer. What about Anne? Anne, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can.
Oh, good. That's great. Okay, why don't you turn on your camera there, Anne, so we can see you.
Okay, I try, see it works. Can you see me now? I don't know, can you see me?
No, I can hear you.
We can see you.
Oh. We
Yep.
can
Yeah,
see
yeah,
you.
I'm
Yes,
here now.
there you are, Anne. Hi.
Hi, sorry.
Let's see. All right, come on then. Let's have a look at 现在.
现在 we say now.
I suppose so, yes.
Yeah, there is 72 university students in the forest farm.
Yes, I suppose.
And they take up about half of, I don't know, total or half of the people, or how you say
No, I
it?
think you've got 人数. What is a 人数?
人数 is a people, isn't it?
Well,
Oh, here says students, so there will be
yes, a total. What about
total?
Total number? Let's just say number, because you've got 数 there,
Okay, number, yeah.
Yeah.
So take
okay.
a half of total's numbers.
Yes, that's right. 基尼班. What is 基尼班?
Yeah, close to half.
Yes, maybe we can say almost half or nearly half, something like that.
Oh, okay. So close
Let's
to
make
half.
let's make it nearly half. That's an Australian way of doing it. Okay,
Yeah,
that's pretty good. Come on, go back again now, Anne, and have another go through it, and we'll follow what you say.
Okay, now there is a 72 university student in the forest farm. And
Okay, now stop there for a moment. You've got to say, you see 72, 70, 72 this is 复数的, all right? So your verb must be plural as well.
so 72 university students.
There are.
Oh, they are. Okay.
Yes, that's right, yes. So there are
There are 72 university students
At the farm.
at the farm,
Yes.
and
Yeah,
close to nearly half
of them.
of the total numbers.
Oh, yes, that's right. Jan. Here we've got Jan.
Yeah,
Don't say, don't say taking up, say making up, all right?
making up.
Nearly half.
So making up nearly half of the total of the number.
The total number. Yeah, that's good. Yeah. Now, students, go back to the beginning of that sentence and you see the word here, 现在. All right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's like a time phrase. It goes at the beginning. So now there are 72 university students at the farm. This 现在 is the marker that marks the tense of the sentence. You understand what I mean by tense, don't you? Present tense, past tense, etc. Here, obviously, present tense. Now, in English, the tense is expressed in the verb are, you see? So you don't need to express it at the beginning. You just express the verb are, which means 现在有. You see that?
Yeah,
So
okay, now.
yeah, we'll just say there are, and that means now. You see that? It's the tense gets expressed through the verb. So quite often you see that little phrase at the beginning of a sentence, it often gets absorbed into the verb and gets expressed as part of the verb tense. So that's pretty good. Let me say it again now, Anne, and you see if I'm right. There are 72 university students at the farm, making up nearly half of the total number. All right, that's pretty good. That was pretty short, Anne. You better do another one for us as well, I think.
I'm not that great. Not that good.
Doesn't matter. I thought that was very good. And, you know, I'm going to try to encourage you to do this next little bit. Come on.
Okay.
First thing to do is to look for the subject, you see. So don't start with the time phrase. That's going to come later. You look down there and see what you can tell me is the subject of the verb. You know what I'm talking about, don't you?
Yeah. So there's 马克林场新栽的小树已经从40万变成了400万。
Yes, that's
there's,
right.
Yeah, so there's, yeah, so there are 40,000 new trees planted. No, the become 400 has been. I don't know.
I want you to start with 小树, 小树.
Yeah, the small plant or
small trees. I'm not sure exactly what the right word to use is here, but it could be, you know, these are the little seedlings, you know, that they're planting. So we can say the seedlings, but that means a little bit too small. So we've got the word that we use, sapling. Have you heard of that one? S-A-P-L-I-N-G, the sapling. The sapling is like the tree that's already grown up, you know, to a certain level. So let's say saplings anyway, because they mean little trees. So the saplings, now which saplings?
The saplings from 40 and become 400,000.
Not 400,000. You got to add on another zero there.
Oh, 4 million.
That's right. Yes.
4 million.
Yeah, that's right. So it looks like from 400,000 to 4 million.
4 million. Yeah.
All right. Well, you have a look at this. It's 小树, right? Oh no, actually, it's a 现在的小树. Newly. What is it? Newly.
I thought the 现在 that means the planting, the planting.
Yes, the newly planted.
Planted.
Yes, the newly planted saplings in the Makahe Linshu in the, now see here where it says Makahe Linchang, students, this is what we call the reference. Now in Chinese, the reference is often repeated, but in English, we don't need to repeat the reference. Here we can just say in the forest, you see, Linchang. We don't need to repeat that Makahe Linchang. In Chinese, it often gets repeated through the text, and in English, we avoid the repetition of the reference. So newly planted saplings in Linchang have what? Have
become from 400,000 to 4 million.
4 million.
Yeah, from 2017 to until today.
All right. Now this from until, I think we might just be able to express that in English as since. You know what I mean?
Since.
From there, yeah, from there until now, yeah, since 2007. I'm not sure how to do this. Eric, are you there? You better help me out again, I'm afraid. What are we going to say for this 变成了?
I gotta say, increase to.
Increase to, yes, I think you're quite right. That's a good solution. Yeah, yeah. So the saplings, the newly planted saplings in the forest have increased. Is that right? From 400,000 to 4 million since 2017. Is that all right? Come on, Anne. You say, come on. You say it with me. Come on. The newly planted saplings.
The newly planted saplings
in the forest.
In the forest.
Forest, yeah. Linshu, have increased.
Have increased
from
400,000 to 4 million.
Time phrase?
Since 2017.
Very well done. That's great. All right, that's good. I'm going to try and find somebody else to have a little try with me now. What about Yingzhu? Is Yingzhu there? Hello, Yingzhu.
Yes, I'm here. Give me a second. Give me a second. Sorry.
That's okay. Can you turn on your camera? Let us see your face.
Later. Okay.
Later.
So the sentence is, let me just look at the sentence because I'm not really concentrated on your lesson. I'm sorry about that.
Maybe I'll go and ask somebody else instead, and you just observe. All right, for a little while. Come on, then.
Okay.
You want to have a try?
Yeah. So, the 30% of the saplings of 30% of those saplings could survive.
Very good. That's exactly right.
But now this number even grow up to 85%.
Yes, that's very good. Okay. Come back to the beginning and say it again for us, and we'll try to follow you.
Okay. At the beginning, it was thought 30% of those saplings could survive, but now this number even grow up to 85%. Let me show you my face now. I can't. Sorry.
Where are you?
I'm here. Sorry.
Okay, I'm just going to try and find you on my little side screen here.
I'm here. Okay, let me say it again.
Now I can see you.
Okay, at the beginning, 30% of the saplings could survive. Oh, okay, so sorry, let me say it again. At the beginning, it was thought 30% of the saplings could survive, but now this number even go up to 85%.
All right, not too bad. Now,
much.
I want you to look at the expressions here, students, 原来 and the expression 只有, and we're going to try and solve these.
Only 30% of the saplings. I'm not really think how to translate 原来. So should I say not at the beginning, initially?
Well, I
Is that
agree
okay?
with you. Yes, I agree with you. 原来, we can leave it where it is, isn't it? We can say, you know, originally, or, you know, before, or something like that. Maybe if we say before, right? Before,
Okay.
only 30% of the saplings were able to survive. You see this 可以, I'm going to make it into were able to. It's in the past tense there. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's one way of doing it. Originally, only 30% of the saplings were able to survive. What about another way, Eric? Can you turn your translating brain and try to incorporate 原来 into the actual verb formation? Come on, mate, I'm counting on you.
I can't think of anything rather
Used
than
to
before.
be, used to be able. That's right. Only 30% of the saplings used to, you know, be able to survive. I might leave out to be able to in this case and just say only 30% of the saplings used to survive. USED. Yeah, used to. Anyway, that's one way of doing it. Otherwise, if that's too complicated, just leave it up at the beginning where it is. However, you see again an example of how the little expression at the beginning, 原来, you see, it's like 现在 back there. 原来 gets incorporated into the verb. It becomes part of the verb tense. This is the wonderful thing, you see, about Chinese and English. You know, when I was first learning Chinese, when I first started Chinese, this guy said to me, oh, I love Chinese. It hasn't got any grammar, you know. And there used to be this myth, you know, for many, many years that Chinese doesn't have any grammar, you know. Nothing could be further from the truth, as you know. But this is the interesting thing. In English, all the tenses and a lot of other information gets expressed through the modification of the verb, you know, through the changing of the verb into its different forms and tenses. Whereas in Chinese, the verb itself sort of stays steady, it stays stable, and it gets modified by things that are up at the beginning of the sentence, you know. 现在 da 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 da. 原来 da 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 da. So we try and incorporate those in English into the verb tense if possible. So used to, only 30% of the saplings used to survive. Now this number is 85%. Now I just want to say one more thing, because you know this is supposed to be a translating masterclass and everything. One thing that I've discovered over the years is instead of saying this number, in English, it's good to say that number. You know what I mean? Change this to that. Now, that number is 85. That thing that I just said, you see, in English, they keep on wanting to say that. Whereas in Chinese wants to say, you see, English wants to say that thing that I just said. All right, that's pretty good. That's great. So this is Yingzhu, isn't it?
Yeah, it's me. Thank you.
No. You do another little sentence. That was only a very short one.
All right. 29-year-old Feng Zhipeng. Probably I should follow your suggestion, like Feng Zhipeng, aged 29 year
Yes, that's right.
old. His job is nursery.
Yes, that's right. Yes, that's right. Yuan, try to stick something on the end. Nursery. Maybe if it's a male, we could say nursery man. You know that? A nursery man, a person who grows little plants, you know, in
Okay.
what we call a plant nursery, you know. So we call him a nursery man. So Peng Zhihuang, aged 29, his job is nursery man. See this 29岁. Notice how in English we don't have to say aged 29 years or 29 years old. You see, this sui is what we call a measure word. And what you find is that in English, a lot of the measure words don't need to be expressed. You know what I mean? They're expressed elsewhere. They're expressed in another way. So we just say, instead of saying 29 years or age 29, we just say aged 29, you see? In English, that 29 already carries the meaning of sui, you know, inside it. Yeah. So
Thank you.
age 29, his job is nursery man. All right, you stop and have a little rest now, and Yingzhu, and I'll have a look and see if there's anyone else who wants to join. What about
Thank
Michelle? Are you there, Michelle? Can't hear from Michelle, but what about Yan Yan? Yan Yan must be there. Yes, there you are. Come on. Aren't you going to?
Hello, Graham. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
That's good. At the beginning, I can't hear the voice.
Oh, you were the one who couldn't hear at the beginning. Oh, yeah. Can you hear it right now?
Now I use my mobile phone to
All
hear
right.
what you said, and I use the laptop to see what you are displaying.
Oh, you see, you young millennials are so, you know, switched on, you know, it's very admirable. So why don't you have a look at this little part that's highlighted here now. Yan Yan, what is it? 马克和林区比较高，可以种的树很少，外地来的很难。
I will have a try.
Yes,
but
go
I'm
ahead.
but I'm not very confident.
Well, you don't have to be confident. The thing to do is look for the subject, verb, object. That's the sort of thing to do.
Yeah, thank you, Graham. Yeah,
Yeah.
I will have a try. 马克和林区比较高。马克和 maybe马克和 forest or
Forest area, yeah.
Yeah, the forest area is very high.
Yes.
And there aren't many trees that can be planted.
Very good.
Yeah, thank you. The trees from outside. I will think about why it's very hard to the trees from outside are very hard to survive here.
Very good.
Yeah, thank you. And therefore we cultivated by ourselves will become more important.
Yes, that's right.
Yeah.
非常重要.
Very important.
Very important, I should think.
Very
yes.
important.
Yes, extremely important, maybe. All right, that's pretty good. Let's go back
Thank
to the
you.
beginning. Let's go back to the beginning of that now. Now, you see here, 马可河林区. Once again, you see the repetition of the reference. You see, 马可河林区. Now, we've already identified it, so in English, we leave that out. We just say the forest area. Right?
Oh,
Do
okay.
you
I
understand
see.
what I'm
Thank you.
saying? Yeah, we
Yeah,
don't want to
I can
keep repeating
understand.
that name because we've already said it at the top. So now we just, that it becomes the forest area. See,
The
Chinese
forest
doesn't have
area.
the. That's why it keeps on repeating marker, because that's like the. You see, it's become definite. It makes it definite. So the forest area is
比较高. See where?
Come on, you think of a really good word for 比较.
比较 it's much, maybe much higher.
Much. How about quite high?
Ah, yeah.
Q-U-I-T-E. Yeah, Q-U-I-T-T is quite a good one. There's a higher register which is like comparatively, you see, but I think that register's too high for this. I think quite high.
Quite high, yeah.
The forest
will be
area
good.
is quite high.
The forest area is quite high.
And I'm going to say very few trees can be planted. Is that it?
Very few, yeah.
树可以种, that's right. Very few trees, or maybe we just say few trees. No, very true. Very few sounds better. Very few trees can be planted. Now, I think we need another word here in English. We just say can be planted there, you know, something like that. So now this, we want to start the sentence with 很难. We want to say it's difficult or it's hard for something. You see what I mean? It's hard for.
It's hard for.
It's hard for 外地来的树.
It's hard for the trees from other
places, that's right.
Other places, yeah, other places.
To
survive.
That's it, yes. It's hard for trees from other places to survive. This 外地, what is it? Outside. Outside's not really the right word in modern English. You know, the concept of NAATI and 外地 is a little bit different in English than it is in Chinese. So here I think it's just to say from other places, like you said. Yeah, so it's hard for trees from other places to survive. So now here, go to the end and work your way back. We say 变得非常重要，自己培育. You see, it has become
very important to
cultivate them.
Cultivated them by themselves.
Yes, that's right. So it has become very important to cultivate them. You see the object of the verb omitted in Chinese. 培育, cultivate them, 自己, themselves. All right, that's not bad. Come on, let's go back to the beginning of that and we'll say the whole thing together. You ready, Yan Yan?
Yes, I'm ready.
So the forest area, come on.
The forest area is
quite high. And
very few trees can be planted
there.
It can be planted there. it's hard for trees from other places to survive. It has become very important to cultivate them by themselves.
By themselves. Yeah, that's good. Are you there, Eric?
Thank you.
That was well done, Yen Yen. I hope you won't be. Eric, what's a good word for pay you? Cultivate, but this is like the
cultivate.
You know, the growing of small, you know, it's like nurturing, you know, nursing, whatever, you know. What's the word? What's the right word?
培育 just nursing or what?
Cultivate.
Come on, help me out, man. I'm struggling here.
There is a break.
I'm sure there must be. Let's leave it as what Yen Yen said for the time being. I'm going to say cultivate.
Yeah.
David, you must know the word. What's the word that you use for growing little seedlings in little boxes?
You can breed plants. So
breeding them, I suppose it could be breeding them, couldn't it? Yeah, you breed them themselves. All right, well, we'll stick with cultivate for the time being anyway. It won't hurt. All right, let me see if there's somebody else now who I can ask to do a bit of
sorry,
translating.
Graham and Duke. Then what's the difference between cultivate and the breed? So is that?
Oh, well, there's a whole range of words. We haven't really got the right one yet. You know, cultivating is the whole growing of the plant. You know what I mean? From the time you put the seed in, you know, preparing the ground, putting in the seed, watering it, you know, right up and weeding it and looking after it. All of that comes under cultivating, you know. Cultivating.
So is that whole process?
Yes, the whole process of the growing of a plant is all covered with cultivating. You know, he's been cultivating such and such a plant in his garden. So this one's more like about the making of the little, you know, the little seedlings. You know, the you know, like the germinating, you know, of the seedlings and getting them ready to plant. So we'll have to come back to that one. We'll have to think about it a little bit longer.
So what about breed? Sorry, what about breed?
Breeding is when you take a male and a female and you put them together and you produce a new plant, you see, or the same with animals, you know. I've been breeding, you know, I've been breeding guinea pigs, you know. What that means is I've been putting them together, male and female, and producing little babies. That's sort of breeding, what breeding sort of covers. So
can I say cultivate is more for plants and breed is more for animals. Is that right?
Most definitely. Yes, that is true. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you, Graham.
Yes, that's good. Okay, well, I'm pretty happy at the moment. Is Sunja there at the moment? Sunja, you there? What about Qiao? Is Qiao there?
Yes, Brandy, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. You're going to turn on your camera?
Okay.
Come on.
Hello.
I'll just see if I can find you again now. There.
Can you see?
Yes, there you are. I see you. Hello, Qiao.
Hello, Remy.
Oh, where are you? What part of the world are you in at the moment?
I'm in Beijing now.
Oh, you're in Beijing now. Very good.
Yeah.
Okay, well, come on. You have a look at this little sentence here.
All right. Since 2014.
Yes, that's right.
The number of siblings, the number of the siblings which they cultivated is rising from 100,000 to 900,000.
That's good. Okay, I think that's pretty right. Come on, try it again, but this time put the time phrase at the end. All right, so you can say the
number?
seedlings, isn't it? The seedlings.
Oh yeah, the siblings.
The seedlings they have cultivated.
Yes, seedlings they have cultivated.
Yes.
Is
you
rising from?
No. You want to say you want to use the perfect tense. Has.
Oh, has.
Yeah.
Yeah. Has increased.
Well,
from?
Tigo is like this, isn't it?
Yes.
This is Tigo. So we use risen, all right, for Tigo.
Oh, risen.
Yeah, try and stick with risen for Tigo, yeah. Has risen from?
Has risen from 100. Is that right? 100,000 to? Exactly
right.
To, it's risen from 100,000 to 900,000.
Now the time phrase.
2014.
Since 2014, that's right. Yeah, that's right. You see, 2014, that's another example of that measure word, you see. 2014年, right? Now in Chinese, that's a measure word. We would consider that a measure word. And we don't have to say in English, the year 2014. We can just say 2014. And it's already understood that that is the year. So no need to express it. It's like what you'll often find is measure words are not expressed in English. So then the seedlings they have cultivated have risen from 100,000 to 900,000 since 2014. All right, that's fair enough. Come on, you might as well do another one now that you're here. Come on, Xiao, in Beijing.
Oh, all right, let me read. The Forest Bureau, the director of the Forest Bureau, Ma Yinglong said, these achievements cannot leave the contributions of these young people.
All right,
is that all right?
Yeah, that's okay. That's good. You see, you've got this little cluster, we can call it, at the beginning here. 林业局英林部 部长 Ma Yinglong. Now, we've got to try to go backwards with this one as well, right? In English, we want to start with his name. So we want to say Ma Yinglong, director of the management, the forest management department in the Forestry Bureau, said. All right, so you do it like that, where you go backwards. Start with Ma Yinglong.
Ma Yinglong. All right, Ma Yinglong, the manager. Yes. Yes,
manager will do.
Manager of the manager of Yingling. I'm sorry, I don't know what is how to translate.
I'm not sure either. This is where Eric has to come in. Eric, Yinglin Bu. What should we say for that? Ying is like manager. What is it?
No, I think this. I think this one is cultivating. Forest cultivating department.
Forest cultivating department. All right, fair enough. In the Forestry Bureau shed. All right, we'll leave it at that for the time being. He said, 这个成绩离不开这些年轻人的贡献. So what did you say again, Xiao? You said
this achievement cannot. Maybe I can change a little bit. Is rely on the contributions of these young people.
Yes, that's right. Yes, yes. Rely on. That's a good one, isn't it? Yeah. I think the best thing to do in English is something like in English, there's a sort of an idiom where we might say, couldn't have happened without, you know what I mean? This success couldn't have happened without the contributions of these young people. What do you think, Eric? Am I on the right track?
I'm thinking of the same with you.
Yeah, let's do it that way. It's an English sounding idiom anyway. Couldn't have happened without. 离不开, you know? So we say this success couldn't have happened without the contributions of these young people. See this 贡献, make sure you make that plural, okay? Because 每个年轻人都有他自己的贡献. So there has to be plural in English, without the contributions of these young people. Come on, Chell, we may as well stick with you, I think, because we've just got one sentence left.
You mean the last one?
Yes, that's it.
In recent years, China has always been working to increase the number of forests.
Yes, that's very good. That's very good. Now, Eric, you're still there. You're my main kind of person I have to go to. Can you think of a way to change that around a bit? First of all, I suppose 今年来, we should make that the time phrase, isn't it?
Yeah, the time phrase should be
in recent years. We put that at the end somewhere. Yeah.
China has been working on increasing forest area, I would like to say, or
just forests, I think. 增加 to increase,
yeah, just for,
to increase the number of forests. Yeah.
Yeah. In recent years.
In recent years. Yeah, that's right. All right, that's fair enough. China has been, you know, working hard or working to increase the number of forests in recent years. Now, see the first four characters in that sentence. 中国今年来, right? So let's make 中国 a prepositional phrase and 今年来 the time phrase, right? So if we put that aside and we look at what's left, 一直在努力增加森林数量. Effort, 努力. I'm going to say something like 一直在努力. I'm going to say efforts have been made, right? Efforts have been made to increase the number of forests in China in recent years. You see what that is, Eric? You understand what I'm doing?
Yeah.
See, instead of making China the subject of the sentence, it's 在中国, you see? It's actually a prepositional phrase. So when you do that, that means the rest of it, 一直在努力增加森林数量, hasn't got a subject anymore. And when there's no subject in Chinese, that becomes what you call 被动式 in English. Efforts have been made, you see? Efforts have been made to, what is it, increase the number of forests in China in recent years. Prepositional phrase and then the time phrase. So what's the time, David? Do we have...
I think we have time for questions, but
all right, that's a good idea.
I have a question.
Yeah.
Just about the last sentence, because it's really interesting, the point you made to change the subject into a prepositional.
When it comes at the beginning like
China,
that, yes.
because I think that there's a sort of, the writer who wrote this, I think it's, I don't know because I'm not Chinese and I'm just reading it as a foreigner, but it seems to me that it's written in very strange Chinese, this piece. But anyway, there are a lot of strange things like the way he's put the time phrases and so on. But I think
Yes.
the last sentence, there's a sort of cultural bias or inference that when he says 中国近年来, does he mean, it's really, my question is, does he mean that it's the Chinese government? And when we change it to in China, we're saying that just, you know, people in China rather than,
Well, yeah, that's
I don't know whether that's the case or not. But it seems to me that he's just say, you know, he has to give credit to someone. So he's given credit to China by putting them at the front of the sentence.
Yes, that's right. Yeah.
Is that right? Or I'm not sure myself.
Well, I understand what you mean. I'm just sort of mentioning it in a grammatical way. And I just sort of invite all of you listeners to think about that when you see that. You often see the place name put up at the beginning, you know, da 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 da. So sure, it looks like it's a subject, but also try to consider the possibility that it can be a prepositional place. In this place, in recent years, you see, lots of efforts have been made to da-di-da-di-da-di-da-di-da. That's right. And
so my other question is that he's done this all throughout the essay, and I'm not sure why. In English, sometimes, maybe too often, people put commas after time phrases, but you don't often see it in Chinese. So I'm just wondering, are people writing Chinese language in a different way nowadays? Like, you know, 2014年至今 and 至今, he always puts a comma afterwards. It seems like very, very sort of foreign way of writing Chinese, or is that okay? I don't know.
I'm not sure. I mean, it's quite usual for the time, it's normal, isn't it, for the time phrase to go first, you know, like that.
But without a comma after it.
Yes, I suppose so.
What
do you think, Eric? You're sort of more switched on to this than I am.
I think it's just depends on the habits of writing. Sometimes it's very usual. It doesn't bother me.
Yes, it doesn't bother me either. That's right. So I think it's about the same sort of thing, David. I think it's a matter of choice, you know, matter of habit, matter of practice, maybe, whether you put that comma in there or not. The main thing is that it's still up at the beginning of the sentence. You know, it's important in Chinese for the time to be expressed first, whereas for some reason in English, the time's going to be expressed last, you know, bloody, 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 blah, in 2014. So that's the main thing to remember. What about you, Iris? Are you still there?
Yes, Graham, I'm with you. Yeah, so can I say something about the last sentence of the text?
Yes, by all means.
Yeah, can I say in recent years, China has been putting efforts to increase the number of forests?
Yes, that's right. Has been making efforts, we'll say.
Yeah, making or can I say putting? Putting efforts?
Not putting.
Making.
Not putting. Yeah, usually use making for making effort. You've got you've got an expression putting in effort.
Oh, putting in. Yeah. Okay, cool.
Effort.
That's good point.
Right. But you know, like putting in effort is, you know, maybe something you might do around the home or something. You know what I mean? Here we're talking about, you know, China. So maybe we'll say making might be more suitable. Yeah.
Making efforts. Yeah.
Yeah, but once again, I still think you should put the time phrase at the end. You try it with the time phrase at the end and see what it sounds like. Go on.
Okay, yeah. So China has been making efforts to increase the number of forests in recent years.
In recent years, that's right. That's the right place for it.
Thank you.
There at the end. Yeah, that's good. So let's see if anybody else is going to sort of make a little comment. What about you, Fleur? Have you got anything you'd like to say about anything in the text?
Yeah, like for example, 马克和林区比较高. When I first see this sentence, yeah, I would love to make it like more professional. Like, should I mention about the position is quite high? Do I need to, you know, like be specific like this? I would be confused because I see these translations here. I think they're like quite straightforward. Sometimes not that specific. So I'm wondering.
Yes, that's right.
Yeah,
I see what
I'm
you
wondering
mean.
if I need to make it like polish them again and again, make them to be more professional. I was a bit wondering about that.
No, I think when you're making a translation, you're better to stick to the words and the grammar of the original writer. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yes, you don't want to polish it, you know, or make it sound more professional. You only want to make it sound like what the original writer sounded, you know. So that's our problem, you know. If we think that the text, you know, is not well written or something like that, you know, there's nothing we can do as the translator. We've just got to take the text, you know, that we're given, you know, and translate that. So what I would do is I would say something like the forest area is quite high, is what I would say. You know, I think that expresses, you know, it's. But I'm still interested in your question. What do you think is missing out there? What do you think needs to be added?
Yeah, because I think this article, this paragraph is kind of like really formal on geographic aspect. So
Yes,
I
that's
think
right.
that might be something related to geography.
Yeah, like
because,
something like
in my spare time, sorry, in my spare time, I sometimes do translations, subtitle group, translation and proofreading. So sometimes it would be really hard when you see the like original English subtitle. It's quite simple, but sometimes you want to translate it into Chinese, into a version that you think Chinese people would prefer.
Yes, that's right.
Yeah, like more professional or something, but actually maybe not that close to the original version of English subtitle.
Yeah, so for example, in that little phrase there that we're looking at, maybe you sort of want to say something like, you know, like the forest is at quite a high altitude or something like that. Is that what you mean to say?
Yeah.
To sort of try to express, you know, the gulf is referring to the altitude or something like that. Yes, I quite understand that. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but once again, you know, what I'd like to say to you is that I still think as a translator, it's better to stick very closely, you know, not only to the meaning, but also to what we call the discourse, you know, of the original text, especially when you're working in these, you know, what you call plain information texts there. Yeah. Let's see if we can get somebody else to make a contribution. What about you, Chiao? Can you say something about the grammar? Here she is.
I'm still feel very like surprised for the last sentence, the translation of the last sentence.
Oh,
I never do do like such some translation to like like change the subject and use the negative, is that as a part, the negative, not negative.
Use the passive, yes, use the passive form.
Yeah,
Anyway,
yeah, passive form. Yeah, it's
that's
like
right.
open another window. Like,
well, it's just something that I was
translate.
thinking about, you know. That's all, you know. You especially 中国, you know what I mean. It's where it is, you know what I mean. It's like the place. So you know, if it becomes in China, and then the rest of it becomes the passive voice. What about something else though? Let's get away from that sentence, that troublesome sentence.
It's also something like the title of a people. It's a little bit difficult to translate.
Like which
it may
one?
be like the Forest Bureau, the director.
Oh yes, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's maybe we need to check the official translation, or sometimes to do that.
Yes.
I'm not sure.
Yeah, I know. Well, yeah. I'm not exactly sure. I should have checked in my dictionary about Yingling Bu. Ying is to manage, isn't it? To
yeah.
What do you call it? Management, and I'm trying to think of that other word.
I think it maybe exists in the official website.
I think it's a very interesting question because at different levels of government in China, the same word means entirely different things. Of course, someone said he's a 部长. Well, he might be a minister, but he's not a minister. He's the 林业局, not of the Sheng, but most likely of the Xian or of the Chu, whatever it is.
Yeah.
So he's, as you said, it's a local forestry bureau. And then
yes, right.
he's just is the forestry management section, exactly.
Yes, that's right.
I would have thought he's like a section chief.
Section chief, yes.
He's quite a low ranking official, maybe
of
not
the
county,
local administration.
But if you look at the whole country, so I would say he's a, you know, it's Mr. Ma Yinglong, the director of, you can say director, section director of the forestry management section of the Forestry Bureau. That would
yes, that's right.
Yeah. So maybe we can use head of forestry management.
Yes, you could say
section.
Head.
Yeah,
that's
chief.
Right. Yes.
A section. In that case, you would say section head.
Section head. Yes, that's right. Yeah. So anyway, the main thing again there is to work backwards. You know, you want to start with his name. Usually express the name first, and then go backwards from there, and it'll sort of work out. It'll work out all right in English.
Yeah.
Well,
thank you.
Yeah. Excuse me, Tammy.
Yes. We can hear you, Francis.
Oh yeah. What I want to say is that the hierarchy in China is maybe a little different from that in Australia or some other foreign countries. For example, Bu here in China is the head of the Bu in China is senior than that of Ju. Yeah, Bu means ministry in China, and Ju means bureau. And you know, in China, maybe 林业局营林部 is a little bit odd. It's strange to express in this way. Maybe it should be say 林业局营林处. That's more familiar in Chinese.
Okay.
And
that's
no, the hierarchy in China should be ministry, bureau. Then
yes, I see what you mean. Yeah, Bu is like Bu is like a department or something. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah. That's my way of interpretation, translation.
That's right.
Yeah, sorry. And then actually the hierarchy of Chinese departments. So because this one is a county, so belongs to a county, it's called 县. Yeah, a county. So then 县, so it's a level, the hierarchy level is similar to in, for example, Shanghai or somewhere. So then the level similar to that. So that means the 局长, the head of forestry bureau, is the level, hierarchy level is similar to the director of a department in somewhere or some institution in Shanghai. So in 林部 is under 林业局. So this 部 means section. That means section. That means in maybe in Shanghai is called 科室. Yeah, similar to that. The hierarchy level. Yeah.
So you would say the head of the management, the forestry management section.
That's right.
In the forestry bureau.
Yeah.
So that works out for you, does it? As a, if we think of it as a section within the bureau.
I think we've more or less reached. It's now we reached the end of more or less the end of this session. So perhaps I'll thank Graham very much for his work, and special thanks to all the participants of the masterclass today. I think it was maybe the best one we've had. This was our fourth one, right, Graham?
Yes, this is the fourth one. Yeah,
probably the best that we've had, and very, very good level and a nice mixed level of participants. So that's really great. So
yes,
I'll remind everyone that we're going to have the next session on this second Friday again of May. So we'll send out a poster. And also many of you may already be in our WeChat group. So we have the ACAA 文学社群 WeChat group. So if you're not in there, you can join by you can send Tammy, I'll dob her in, send Tammy a message and she can put you in the group if you're not already in that group. And then you can just share ideas about literature and translation at any time. So
all right, well, I'll say goodbye to everybody, and I hope that you'll come and join me again next time.